Hello and welcome to today's video. Are you aware of what you're doing? Are you even ready for the consequences? Many investors, they simply put their money in a mutual fund, or maybe they get a tip from their friend or maybe an uncle and try to take a bet. That's about it. Or maybe you suddenly see a new product from a very renowned company, a company whose product you regularly use. You say, okay, fine. I use this company's product on a regular basis. This must be good. This company must be good. Is that really investing? No, that is gambling. And if you're continuously doing this, you're well on your way to a big disaster. So be very careful. Stick around. In this video, we'll discuss 5 factors that will cut off your gambling tag and shape you up as an investor. So like this video and subscribe to this channel so this video can reach a lot of people. Today, investors, they are vast. They are young and more diverse than it was ever before. You don't have to be in a suit, boot and a tie to look like an investor. Or you don't have to be like him either. However, one thing that all successful investors, they know in common is that the type of investor they are. They know what type of investing they do. And this is an essential step because it helps you take control of your finances. And once you take control of your finances, you take your first step in realizing your goal. Well, as an investor, it's likely that you are a complex mix of different likings and preferences, and both of these change. Likings also change. Preferences will also change with your time, with your age, with your experience in the market. And so will change the values and the circumstances. So let's begin shaping yourself as an investor. The first step towards it is how involved are you in? How involved are you into investing? Whatever you're invested in, how involved you are into it. See, investing can very quickly become a full-time job. You will very quickly find yourself involved into studying company fundamentals and then the balance sheet reports, the company annual reports, finding out the company problems, attending AGM meetings, making cash flow projections, tracking developments, and so on. So many different things. You'll quickly find yourself getting involved into these things on a regular basis, day in and day out. Now, these things are necessary. Definitely these things are necessary, without which you will miss out on big things while investing. But wait, all throughout the day you pluck your hair to find out the best deal, to find out the best company. When will you live? You have a life. Live it. You may have a passion which is not the stock market, which is not the investing. What would you do? What about that? When will you live your passion? When will you follow your passion? So here it is. Let me take an example. Consider you have a passion for driving a nice car across the city, maybe going on a long ride. That's your passion. Taking photographs. That's your passion. But to do that, you take your vehicle out. You take your vehicle out to remote locations. You need to service that. Would you service that yourself? Would you crawl down under the car, dirty yourself up, take out the screws, nuts and bolts and dismantle the car altogether to fix it? No. You would hand it over to a mechanic. You would hand it over to an expert who knows this task better than you. You enjoy the product. The product is your passion. You drive the passion. You drive the product a long distance. That is your passion. But your passion is not to maintain the product. Similarly, in investing, the money could be your product. The profits could be your passion. You definitely, you, me, everybody would like to earn some profits. That makes us happy. But it may not be possible that I myself would get involved into scrutinizing and analyzing companies and finding out the best deal, the best companies to invest in. No, that may not be my passion, and I may not be good at it. So what's best is hand over your portfolio to someone who knows better, someone who knows their job better. Just like driving the car or enjoying the car and servicing the car. Break down your portfolio into two different halves. One half you enjoy. You explore new and different opportunities to invest in. Study, understand if that's your cup of tea, if you can handle that, if you can handle the volatility, if you can handle the product range, if you can handle the investment type. Look for that. For that trial and error method, keep a part of your portfolio with you. And for the rest, the major chunk, give it to someone else to manage. That's how you should be approaching your investing. Yeah, it's all good if you are a part of it, definitely. If you enjoy the process of analyzing a company, if you're enjoying the process of scrutinizing company, finding out the best bet, and also investing for yourself, it's well and good. You keep 100% of your portfolio within yourself. But if you have a different passion, hand over a major chunk of your portfolio to a specialist or someone who knows it. Segregate a major part of your portfolio and give it to someone who knows it, and keep a small part to yourself so that you can scrutinize and explore different investment avenues. Now, once you do that, once you explore new and different avenues, there comes risk, the risk of the unknown. So the point number 2 is know your risks, where you're putting your step, know what dangers are there. See, the approach to investment risks depends on your circumstances and your personality. But one thing is for sure, your returns will reflect the percentage or the amount of risk that you're able or you're willing to undertake. Take less risk and you might be disappointed with your results, with the returns that you get. Take more risk and you might be very, very happy with the returns that you're getting. And this is a very, very important factor before you hand over your portfolio to a professional. You can diversify your investment portfolio by investing in different industry segments, regions, and investing styles. Many, however, they prefer a more balanced approach where they invest both in high risk and very low risk investments to nullify the ups and downs of the market. We know this. We know this as, we call this a diversification, by putting investments into different baskets to minimize the risks. So if you're a conservative investor, take less risk. Buy bonds, fixed deposits, or whatever it is, whatever suits you, whatever gives you a peaceful night's sleep. But if you run after high return profits or high return investments, that would involve more risk. You might lose your peaceful night's sleep. But on the other hand, if you're a risk taker, take on more risk, go into riskier investments. With that, you would get more returns. But if you have a high risk appetite and you go after safer investments, probably you will lose your night's sleep because of the returns that you would get. The third important point is know your time horizon and your goal. Your time horizon significantly impacts or the type of investor you are. And it is also very closely connected to your risk tolerance. And just take an example of an 80-year-old and a 20-year-old guy. Both of them have the same risk appetite. Now for the 80-year-old, he doesn't have a family to fall back on. For the 20-year-old, he also doesn't have a family to fall back on. He's not yet married. So for both of them, they don't have anybody to fall back on, and also at the same time, they both have the same risk. Now for both of them, they have a different perspective in the market. The 85-year-old might take on a huge risk because he would try and get the most out of his investments because he doesn't have time in hand. For the 20-year-old, on the other hand, he would also take in more risk because he has more time in hand. So he thinks, okay, fine, even if I lose, I'll make it up. The 85-year-old guy might say, okay, fine, even if I lose, I'm almost done. I'm at the end of my life. It doesn't matter what happens. So the perspective doesn't change. So the perspective doesn't change the way they think. See, the example that I just gave you, it changes drastically with just one factor, dependency. With just one dependency factor coming on the way, everything changes. The 85-year-old will stop taking more risk. He will play safe. He'll place 100% safe. He'll put money in fixed deposits, rather, even though he knows that fixed deposit doesn't even beat the inflation now, or probably it might just barely matches the inflation rate. He would still do it. He'll protect his wealth. He'll protect his corpus. The 20-year-old, if he's married and has a kid now, or maybe he's going to be a father in a year's time, he's planning, he'll be extra cautious, probably. He knows there is a family. He'll not take in more risk. Yeah, he'll take in risk as per his risk appetite. His risk appetite would come down drastically. With just one factor, dependency, would change the attitude of these two different kind of investors. So it's very important to figure out what is it that is in front of you. How would you appreciate yourself? How would you take the risk, take on the product, take on the investment? And what would be your approach towards it? What is the time horizon? What is your goal? That is a very, very important factor. Number 4, know your limits. There is no right or a wrong answer. However, if you take time to reflect your personal situation, that will keep you one step ahead of becoming a successful investor. Because knowing your limit is the most important determining factor in knowing your investment type. Ask yourself, do you understand the financial reports of the company? Do you understand the balance sheet? Do you understand the economics? Do you understand the current affairs, what's going on around you? World affairs, do you understand them? Do you understand how these factors, they affect the company or the market where you're trying to invest in? Or is it too boring for you? Talk to someone who can better explain your circle of competence rather than you trying to grasp everything that's on the air. Part of a very good investment strategy is to block out the noise, the unwanted information that's around you. That is a very, very important factor. And on top of that, these news channels, the print media, the social media, 24/7 news culture, it makes us very, very difficult. Forget about the novice investor. Even experienced investors nowadays find it very difficult to focus for a very, very long period of time. So knowing what to consume and where to put a full stop is very, very, very important. And number 5, the most important thing is your values and your interests. Now, Warren Buffett says, know where you are investing, know your investments, and never invest in anything you do not understand. Wow. Do you dare to challenge that great man, Mr. Warren Buffett? I wouldn't do so. Definitely not. That's a very important factor in shaping yourself up as an investor. Now understand this statement very, very carefully. Do not invest in anything you do not understand. That's what he says. Now this does not mean that you do not invest at all. Many people would say, okay, fine, I do not understand the stock market. I do not understand the real estate market. I do not understand the crypto market. I do not understand metaverse. What are all these? I don't understand them. I don't understand futures, options, intraday trading, swing trading. I don't understand all these things. I don't understand the balance sheet. What would I do? Would I not invest? No, that does not mean it. You may not understand a lot of things, but you still do it. That is not a challenge to the great statement. The great statement says that do not invest in anything you do not understand. But it does not tell you don't try and understand things. You should definitely go out and put your hands on every investment type that comes your way. Try and understand what it is trying to tell you. Try to understand the mechanics. Spend hours, days, weeks, years, if possible. Try and figure out what it is. Go through any knowledge, any book, any YouTube video or any documentation, any PDF found anywhere in this world to give you the idea Talk to any person who can explain you the basics of what this is all about. And I'm sure 100% of the time, there is nothing in this world that a well-educated person cannot understand. There is nothing in this world that a well-educated person with a sound, comfortable mind does not understand. If you're a healthy, well-educated human being, you will understand what is going on. You just need to find out someone, something, some information which will help you get that knowledge. And then once you have it, go ahead and invest. If you feel the investment risk, the investment type, the investment pressure, the market, the people around it, the surroundings of that investment suits you, go ahead with it. If it doesn't, then you step aside. Right? So first, understand the investment, then take a decision whether you should invest in it or you should not invest in it. But before that, stay away from it. And how do you do it? Most of the new investments in your life you will find by constantly hunting for it. And once you find out, once you start understanding it, once you find out if you feel it's as per your risk appetite, put in the major part of your investments in it, hand it over to someone specialist who understands it more than you, put some of your investments with you, some of the corpus with you, and start hunting for the next investment type. That's how you diversify into different investment ventures. That's how you diversify into different investment avenues. You find out new and different investment opportunities. And that's how you build a huge diversified portfolio, where the risk of one is neglected and nullified by the gains of the other. So to sum up this video in short, number one, see your involvement. What is your involvement in investing? Number two, what is your risk appetite? See your risk appetite. Know your risk appetite. Number three, what is your investment goals? Know your investment goals. Number four, the market knowledge. Focus on the information that will help you and neglect the ones that does not. And number five, your values and your interests. Does the investment type align with your beliefs? Do they intrigue you? Are you in sync with the investment type? That's it. If you master these 5 points, you are well set to be an investor. That's all for today. Hope it helps. See you again in the next video. Till then, SC signing off. Goodbye.